Greetings, everyone. This is Sacred Ascension, and the Mother Loving Movement. I am the visionary founder of the Mother Loving Movement, which is what I am here to talk about today. I have briefly shared information about the vision before. We've had some preliminary conversations. And since then, it has been stewing and developing. And so today I am to share all of the concepts around how to actually build and develop the mother loving movement. And for those of you who have never heard of the mother loving movement, before I get into the details of it, just on a general basis, I would like to say that the mother loving movement is basically it is a mission and intent to uplift and celebrate mothers, the mother principle, as well as the actual beings that are mothers, as well as Mother Earth. And my personal commitment is to create the details related to what a mother loving culture looks and acts like, what it's like to be a mother lover, a person who holds these tenets to be important of loving mothers. So, yes, that is what the mother loving movement is in a snippet nutshell. And another thing that I would like to note before I get into the details of it is to say that to have a mother loving movement is not to say that people who are not mothers are not important or are bad or anything negative. It is only to say that our society, our culture is very imbalanced in the sense that it has created a very serious negativity towards women. It's very patriarchal and has been. The power structure has been very intentionally oppressive to the divine feminine principle. And that is key to all of the ills of our society that have gone haywire today. And so to be proactive as opposed to, complaining or blaming anyone, the point is to say, hey, what is the solution and how can we all support the solution? And the solution is to honor and support and uplift the divine feminine in our lives again, which is the energy that represents health and healing and nurturing and balance and truth. And so you see now I have Ma'at behind me as the guardian of the sacred space, because Ma'at is an image and a deity that governs truth and balance and righteousness, relationships, reciprocity, all of those things. And so even in the way that you see that our ancient ancestors used imagery to communicate what could be, a chapter of a book. You can see it all inside of just the image of who Ma'at is. You understand? So getting back to the power of imagery, getting back to the color of images, all of these things are how we express the divine feminine. And so, again, we'll get into the more details. But this is what we're talking about. How do we live it, not just talk about it? So, this is not just about some kind of a lecture or information, it is food for thought to trigger what you inherently already know. We all know that it is correct to honor and to love mothers and to know the value of mothers, right? We already know that. But we are in such a dark place now that we actually have to discuss it and, you know, plan around recapturing it. It's a very serious state that we're in. So, before we get started, I want to play some music. Because honestly, when we talk about getting back to the mother principle, also, it's about getting back into your feeling nature. And me, myself, I am very connected to the arts. And I want to encourage all of you as we connect to our divine feminine. Let's get into how we connect to sound and vibration and allow it to wash over us and let us feel good. So I'm going to play some music for a moment, and then we're going to start talking about other ways that we can express the divine feminine, support people in returning back to the heart. Okay, so this song here is from my cousin. I do not own this, but I do have the right to play it because it's my cousin, Payback Sands. So shout out to my cousin, love you, Clint, in Los Angeles. Here we go. Okay. Yay. Shout out to my cousin, Clint. Thanks, Clint. All right. So that's an example of doing things in a feminine way, like I really wanted to get my energy up and I want to share it with you. And so I did it. So, I always appreciated how Ellen did that on her show. And so I think I might have to like do that regularly. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this mother loving movement. It is the dawning of a new day. Mark my words, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just going to go through all the different ways that we are going to start a new world together, a mother loving world. Okay. And so as I share this, these are both ways that we as individuals and how we can frame society to implement different things in our lives so that we can move from the head to the heart. That is the aim. Is we have been cursed with this mental thing that humanity is stuck in, where we've lost our sensitivity, our natural sensitivities. And so it's time for us to return. And these are parts of the solution. Okay. And so for each person, it's very important that you do your own shadow work. I will say that for every single video. You must do your own shadow work because there is no superseding the work that you are here to do. And we are here to address things in our family lines and patterns and such so that we do not continue things that are unhealthy, which a lot of us have picked up. So that is the whole point. You must do your own shadow work. If for any reason you do not feel like you have someone suitable to support you in uncovering or working through emotional issues that you may have, I myself am available for consultation. I work with a number of different healing modalities, but first of all, it would entail talk therapy as far as just getting to the root of whatever it is that you are dealing with, and then also discovering where it is that you want to be. So those two things. So if you, for any reason, are really needing to do that work, because everyone needs to do that work, if you need more support in that work, contact me. Okay. You can just, write me directly. Now, but beyond the personal work, we're going to look at things in society. So number one, we need to look at the power of the word and changing the things that we say that undermine our power, right? And a lot of those things, unfortunately, inside of the English language, there are a lot of things that are subconscious, like you don't even know that what you're saying is really hurting you, really damaging you. So, for example, using the word mother lover is consciously shifting what is usually said in society. And I'm not going to say it, but mother effer is very, very common the world over. And it's something that is part of the problem, is using these words which continue these realities. So, I mean, I know that many of you already know other words that we use that it would be better for us to attach to positive realities, but we choose to continue to perpetuate negative ones. So, other things that are commonly used, or like some people are very conscious of this, but like if you say good morning, there's a reason why people are shifting to say grand rising and different terms, it's because mourning is what they say for funerals. It's related to being sad mourning. And they even have correlated when you say that you're awake in the morning, you're awake, that awake is for a funeral. I don't understand why those things would be correlated, but I don't feel comfortable using those words in that way anymore. And there are lots of little things like that where you have to think about it, or even how comfortable it is for people to curse overall. If you say a damned something, or if you say, oh, I'm going to die, or if you say, oh, it gets on my nerves, these things really end up affecting you if it's like just a common way that you speak. So we really have to understand what we're saying, and we have to change it so that we can use this technology very powerfully. Okay, so that's just number one. Number two is we need to rethink holidays related to mothers. There is a festival in Bahia that is of Iemanjá, which is Iemanjá, which is the mother goddess of the ocean. And here in Mexico, where I am, there is also on the same day, they honor a different mother god, Candelaria. It's Candelaria, the Dia de Candelaria, February 2nd. And I believe that we should internationally, as women, get into this day because apparently it's a very powerful day for the mother goddess. And I personally am going to be making a sojourn next year, 22. And February 2nd. Anyway, we should really be conscious of that day and celebrate that day as the day for the mother goddess overall. And then, of course, we have the normal Mother's Day. But I would say for that one, in America, it's a different thing. If it's in America, then, we should create our own women, wherever there is a Mother's Day, we need to create more meaningful rituals around it. So I would suggest related to that, washing of feet is a good thing. Like if the father washes the mother's feet, I think that would be that's what Jesus did. I think that's a really good thing to do for a mother on Mother's Day. Making a meal for your mother, like everyone in the family getting together, making a meal, having a very special mother-themed event, doing a mother dance, all of these things would be, very meaningful and I think should be implemented. Then also on birthdays, I'm just going to say, do I believe it? No. Birthdays, on people's birthdays, mothers, the people who give birth should be honored on birthdays along with the children, but on the higher side than the child, just because of the fact that the mother is the one who actually brought it through to fruition, who did the work to bring it through fruition. So what I am proposing is that it would be called a person's Earth Day. Your birthday would be your Earth Day, the day you came to Earth. But it would be the mother's birthday. And there should be special rituals and ways to celebrate the mother on her birthday, the day that she gave birth to children. She should be honored every birthday of her children, all of her birthdays, the days that her Earth days of her children, she should be honored. And her parents should throw an event for her. If the family is together and it's possible, her parents should honor her every Earth Day of their grandchildren. And the father should do something special. The father should, there's something called a push present, which I talked about in another video, where the father gives a very big gift to the mother for seeing the birth through. And I think that's very important. I think the woman just needs to be more honored every step of the way. There needs to be things, in line that are waiting to support mothers and, at different stages. by everyone in the family. So in reorganizing the finances, I believe that the women should handle the finance. If it's a family, a unified unit, that the woman should handle the finances, and that if the woman stays home to be with the family and makes it her first priority, that should be factored into her getting paid by the husband at least the amount of what you would pay for everyday babysitting or whatever would be required, if you were to take them for someone to do it professionally, that the woman should get paid at least that much as a minimum. In businesses, women should get paid period days. Yeah. Or overall, periods should also be taken into consideration. With every child that is born, for a woman who does get money, she gets a raise for every child that's added to that household. That needs to be taken into consideration. So yes, the monthly salary would be increased. Okay. Next, every community would have a council of crones. And a council of crones is mothers who have gotten to a certain, who have gotten, to like menopause time, or, after they're done having babies and they are established, they have a certain amount of wisdom. And preferably, if we go by the initiation stages that we're going to be laying out, someone who is past 49 or older, simply because there are 7 different stages of 7, and 49 marks the end of the last stage as far as being a fully developed crone. So that is what I'm thinking. We might make it where you could be a little younger, depending on, but we want women, a council of women, to be able to address issues that face the community, both individually and collectively. Yes, because we need that. We need women for mediations. We need councils to deal with serious issues that are already organized and that meet regularly. And so we've already started that. We do have a Mother Loving Movement Council of Crones. And if someone needs mediation or someone needs consultation, we have a Council of Crones that can help, either collectively or if you just want to consult with one. We are here for you because that is what's needed in the community. Okay, so I mentioned that we're going to be recreating the lifetime rites of passages and initiation. So that basically means that we're starting all over again, starting all of our rituals all over again. We know about how we need rituals in life to affirm where we're going and, how we process information best to develop our best. So, we will start with the birthing ceremony, or even how you plan, when you find out that you're pregnant and all the things that you do and the proper stages and the food. And you come to, how you have an attendant or a midwife and the different rituals you go through in preparation. And then you go to the actual birthing ceremony, and then you have the naming ceremony with the community. And then you go to 7 years old, 14 years old, 21, 28, 35, 42, and 49. And these are all related to the different stages. Then, of course, you also have the initiations or the rituals around things like marriage and different accomplishments. So we will be outlining all the details around all of those different things. Blah, blah, blah. I've written out a lot. It's just in this, I'm just going to go through the various ways, and then I will do videos on the details of each thing that I'm talking about. I'll have a year of videos to cover all this information. So exciting. Okay, so anyway, yes, we're going to go through all the rites of passages. We're going to reframe menstruation and what it means to a woman. And we're going to change the story to celebrate how powerful we are to be carrying this blood that comes out every month, and to be able to give life. Like, we're like badass creators, and we need to talk about it so that young women can benefit from having eldership that celebrates who we are and can share the power of that. So yeah, we're going to change the story around menstruation. And so, and also around why you get married and all those things. We're going to change the mythology around womanhood and why we do things, because the old stuff just doesn't work. It enslaves us, and we don't like that. We want to come from an empowered place. So we're rethinking marriage from a powerful place, not from an angry place or not from an anti-marriage place, but it has to be in the vein of where it's benefiting us personally. Yes. We need to create new ways of speaking loving and different loving names. You know, like in our society, we have a lot of inappropriate name calling, like when people that you don't know call you things like honey and baby and sweetie. Or I mean, even, or when you're with someone, even like what you want to be called, like being called baby is something that, if you really think about it, is that, again, that's a spell. I don't want somebody calling me baby, because that makes me start to take on ideas that I am helpless, that I need help. And that is not correct. So anyway, stuff like that. We need to give thought to the name. So I guess that still goes to the words and how important words are at the beginning. We're going to do those things. We're going to create new marriage vows. We're going to take away the idea of till death do us part, like no matter what happens. And we are going to actually create real commitments and contracts based off of what we really believe in. And so we're going to create a new idea that supports our freedom and our power as individuals within relationships, still supporting the relationship, but still making our relationship to the Creator and truth number one. We will prenuptials as far as the commitment of what people are doing for what and what the payoff is, and like the business arrangements need to be clear and contractual, not mixed up with the emotion. We need to honor pregnancy and mothers. Again, that's what this whole thing is, but we talked about the push present. We need to have more photo campaigns of beautiful pregnant women being happy and joyful and free, and yeah, just pictures of them being beautiful and still not sexy in the way of sex, but you know, really attractive and happy and celebrated and powerful, not being seen as weak. I can also see like books being written about all these things, like children's books about pregnancy, how great it is to be pregnant, how great it is to have your menstrual period, and just in a very positive, uplifting, innocent way. Okay, so when you're pregnant also, we want there to be more rituals around how to support pregnant women and mothers. So gifts of food when women are pregnant and when women are having babies. It should be more customary for women and men, whoever, to in the neighborhood to give them food. Just as a warm gesture. And back in the day, I believe that these things were just normal, being in community and stuff, but we've lost that. We're not in community the same. And so we've become a lot more individualistic in our culture. And so I'm just mentioning some things that are just common sense for communities in lots of places. But these are important things that we need to implement if we're not already there. When a woman becomes a mother, it says that we should give her a new title, but I guess mama is a title really of honor. We just need to give more honor to that title, more titles like that. Okay. We must create more mother-loving art, like different ways of expression to demonstrate the love for mothers as opposed to just talking. There are other ways to express it and communicate it and to exemplify it, to model it. So things like, again, using beautiful feminine pictures that represent beauty and harmony and love and light and all those things. Imagery, feng shui are very, very important. How you set up your space. You could put beautiful pictures of women, honoring strong women. Don't put pictures of like sad women in your space. Really look at what kind of energy is in your space. That's really important. So we're talking about visual art. We're talking about music. Really be circumspect about the music you listen to. What kind of messages does it have about women? Let's create some more music that is talking about the positives around women and mothers specifically, and how wonderful mothers are for the sacrifice and love that they give, that keep our world going. It's called the law of attraction. This is how we use the law of attraction, by being grateful for what we have. We're going to write children's books. We're going to create dramas. We're going to create new dances, new stories, a mother-loving pledge. Yes, we're going to create T-shirts about the mother-loving movement and being proud of being a mother lover. We are the people who are empowered in empowered positions, instead of giving favor to institutions and authorities to show that you're a good person. Instead, give it to mothers. Give special treatment to mothers. Any mother who has a child, they are someone who is worthy of a little extra consideration. So that's something that we want to really support. We want to have special discounts for mothers. We want to have special consideration. We want to have special networks and databases for mothers. Give a discount, give a little perk, We really want to promote women and men, but women in this conversation, having self-love practices regularly in their schedule, in their calendar. It's very important. So when we say that, we're talking about things like spa days, massages, healing circles, like all of these things about tending to your personal needs and acknowledging what your own inner voice needs and wants. That is really tantamount to acknowledging your own heart. And the only way that you can connect to other people's hearts is through your own heart. So it's really important that you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, then you really cannot extend it to the outside world. So it always begins at home. So the way I think of it is that you really want to fill your own cup so that it runneth over, right? So that you can then give to other people in the right way. Because if you're giving to someone, but you're really needing in another way, a lot of times it can undermine that giving. So before you start to try to give to other people, make sure that you've given enough to yourself. Make sure that you've put yourself first enough, and that you have taken on these practices that will ensure that you are an asset in this world. And a lot of times, I know when I was growing up, just relaxing and not doing anything, I used to start feeling guilty. I used to start feeling lazy. And I am not lazy at all. I'm very passionate. And I'm so thankful to understand now today that it's very important that I get my massages and I get my time in nature and I sit alone a lot and don't have any pressures on me. And that's the way that I can actually find the balance, because there are times when I'm like going nonstop. So every single person needs to give themselves permission to take time out, understand that you are here first and foremost for yourself. You have to be here for yourself. And so self-care, self-love is something that we always want to give ourselves permission to focus on. So that's the next thing. I told you there's a long list. So self-love practices, and also with self-love practices and tools, that all is the shadow work falls underneath that too. So we will say that. Okay, next, for mothers, it would be really wonderful to implement something called mommy mentorships, where mothers have elder mothers who are on call as a support, and somehow that being part of a network system within a community where it is not for money, but somehow an exchange of energy. And I'm sure that we could work out the details of that. But I think that that is really important. Mommy mentorships. Of course, that could also come through the Council of Crohn's that we have. So okay, so the next point is proposing that women consider having their own bedrooms separate from men when they're married or cohabitating, not in the sense of being negative to men in any way, but more in the sense of being able to have your own sacred space, your alone space, because people need that in order to just know where they are. And then also to give you the opportunity to invite someone into your space, or to be invited, so that there's still that kind of flow of flirtatious energy that can be generated, because when there's so much assumption around being in the same space, it can kind of deaden that. And I personally have felt that that was very, very important to me. My grandmother and my grandfather lived in separate bedrooms in the same house. And I really saw how wonderful it was for them, and how much peace and space they had. And when I first got married, I felt guilty. I had a guilty feeling about this idea of having my own room for my ex-husband. But I did it. And I can't even imagine what that would be like to not have any extra space outside of that. So I would encourage every woman to be able to replenish your softness and your femininity, to have a feminine space that is separate from the man. And it's just a very positive thing where there really is no obligation. It's all based off of what someone wants as far as the level of interaction. And I think that's really important. That's something that we're all learning, that obligation can only go so far in a relationship. Okay, so the next point that I feel is very important and that's groundbreaking is that all women should be trained in an oracle system, in using oracles. And it's not really like, of course, there are different cultures and spiritualities that use oracles. It doesn't matter which one. It's more the idea that you understand that God has created an infinite amount of ways to communicate directly and that you don't have to go through anyone else. It is that time for us to recognize that we don't have to go through anyone else. Tapping into your divine feminine is being able to tap into your own counsel, your own instincts, your own intuition. And so learning how to use your own oracle. For me personally, I've been using the I Ching, people say it different ways, the I Ching for 25 years, 25 plus years. And I can say honestly that it is one of the most powerful things that I've ever done as far as for my growth and development and as an adult, to be able to really counsel myself with God's help. But to be able to do that, it's very empowering to not have to go to someone else, because no one else understands you better than you do. The challenge is not in doing the reading as far as the real wisdom. The challenge is in being able to follow the reading, right? And so therein really lies the challenge, where the question is, will you trick yourself? As far as like, if you already want something and then you ask the oracles and the oracles gives you a clear answer, will you follow the wisdom of the oracle, or will you just do what you want because you just want to take a shortcut and want to feel good? So those are the real issues of the oracle, of using oracles. Everyone can use them. It's very, very simple. I think I'm going to do a class for the I Ching just to show how simple it is. I really want to teach people how to fish. I really don't want people to feel like they have to stay attached to me to get any kind of clarity on anything. But I do want to be supportive. And so, the magic of using oracles and the beauty of using oracles is that you become wiser from following them. And that is what really takes the time of getting older and wiser, and understanding that when you don't follow the oracles, you will see that you're just taking a longer way to what you could do a lot easier if you followed. And so for women, it's great for men to use the oracles too, but because women are mothers, I feel that we should really take these kinds of things very seriously, the feminine arts. And all women should learn how to use the oracles. That is what I believe. And so that is something that we are going to encourage. Okay, the next thing, as far as the mother loving movement, we are going to create a cooperative community for women and children. That's the next vision and goal. And of course, so this is like a long-term project. You can start now, but I'm saying that it's going to be continuously in development, because the whole point is that it's now time for us to start creating what's needed. We can all see that the system is starting to quiver. The collapse is on its way. And so, yeah, the whole end goal is for us to create a solution for those of like minds. And so, what I envision is to have a Council of Crones to set this up. And then we will have an institution that is supportive of young women when they no longer have a family home to go to have a place where they can apply to, where we will provide housing and training and classes like personal empowerment training and classes and healing, so that they can learn how to do energy healing and how to work with the community and community healing, because there is going to be a boom in that area in the world. We need healing in all the communities. We need more healing everywhere in this world. And we have a lot of children who are not taken care of. And we need people who just need an opportunity and a safe space to be. And that's a real challenge in this world. So we are going to be creating a network of communities in different places in the world that have the same philosophy, that are for healing and educating women, but through women, we educate the world. So that's the goal, is our mother-loving community. And I'd like to start with a place here in Valladolid, if you know, inshallah, if that's what's supposed to be. The rentals, the sales, and the land are all very cheap here. And the goal would be to be away from the city metropole, to be around a very peaceful people where it's very secure and natural and remote, on some level remote. And that's where I am now. I love it very much. Okay, so the next thing that we would look at is looking at and challenging the story around women in religious texts like the Bible, as far as women not being included in the Holy Trinity. For me, that's something that's kind of overtly blatant as far as disrespectful to women, because the mother is the one who actually gives birth. So to have like the Father and the Son and a Holy Spirit and no mother represented, or a daughter, is super disrespectful. And it's something that I think that we should actually talk about, and how that really affects the world's mentality around women, and that whole idea that we come from the rib and all the mythology. We need to change it because it's really messed with our heads. Okay, for mothers, I'm also proposing that there is one day out of every week where a mother gets a day of rest, where she doesn't have to like a real day of rest, where it's just her day. One day out of every week, like what they say in the Bible. Like a mother needs that too. So yes, mothers need their time where no one can bother them. We have a collective prayer that we do every Sunday with Queen Mother Balance. And this is something that I also believe is very important, is to come together for spiritual work, like holding positive visions, prayers, and rituals. Meaning, well, I guess like the way I would see it, or what I understand, like I lived in Africa. So the way they do rituals is like the community comes together and you celebrate a principle and you dance and sing. And so, yeah, we would just kind of change the idea of like going to the club or partying into a very uplifting, positive expression. That's all. So, like, really putting energy into parties, but the parties would be all positive expression. Love, harmony, joy, that kind of stuff. No low vibration stuff that we're used to. So, yeah. So then we're also looking at having a mother-loving digital magazine to celebrate mothers and to spread the word, and a mother-loving manifesto. I've created some mother-loving songs, and we'll have like mother-loving retreats. And basically, just using the word mother-loving is an education, and it is a reminder for each one of us to do the work in every moment, every day, to keep it in our minds that we are here to be loving beings. And anyone who would want to argue around the concept of loving mothers is a sick person, an injured person. And it is our responsibility, because no one else is going to change this. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. So, yes, I asked you, please, for the love of God, support this movement. Share this video, talk to everyone that you love. How was your mother treated growing up? What do you think this world would have been if women were more protected, to not have been exposed to all of this crap? And now we see women losing it, children not being protected by mothers even. So it's a very serious thing. Please join the Mother Loving movement on Facebook. This whole idea of it being a movement is very modest in the sense that this isn't about me. I've been a mother. I'm entering my crone years. This is about our future. We know about all the sickness. I'm not here to argue with anyone about the things that our world is dealing with right now. I am here to hold up a vision for what can be if we can see it. Right? You have to believe it. Then you get to conceive it, and then believe it, and then achieve it. Right? So I have conceived it. I would like for you to take time to conceive it yourself. And then together we can believe it so that humanity can achieve it. I feel corny. But the mother loving movement is real. There's nothing more important right now than loving. And we just start with the mothers, because when you love the lovers, it just continues to give and give. We want to make it easy. It doesn't have to be so hard. We have those that are always working in service to humanity that we don't even notice. And if we just put a little bit more energy into honoring those people, then they will be able to continue in doing what they're doing. But it's time for us to raise up the mothers, you guys. Yeah. Let's honor our mothers. Let's honor Mother Earth. So please like this video, subscribe, push the notification bell. I'm actually going to I'm going to be sharing a lot more. I'm going to go through each one of those points to discuss actually, all the different ways that we can implement them. That this has been just a short, summarized version of the mother loving movement so that you can just conceptualize what a shift it would actually be to move into a place where we are sensitive beings again, where we care about the meek, right? The meek shall inherit the earth. And this is the challenge of our age, is to be meek, is to be humble, right? So thank you for supporting this channel. I always forget about saying certain things. That's why I'm like dragging on, but I'll add it into the description below if there's anything else. So thank you. Oh, I know. Yes, please support my artwork. I have a Redbubble account where I have lots of wonderful products, both clothes and home decor and accessories. I also promote medicinal foods because right now, as far as all of the different things that we're going through, it's very important that we take care of our health first. And it's very difficult to find good quality organic products. And so, Medicinal Foods is a company that provides the highest quality organic products with things like spirulina for all of your minerals and all of the medicinal mushrooms that are very good for your immune system and will really give you a super boost in support and protection. So that also, those two things you will see as links in the description. And I really appreciate all of your support. Um, Thank you for taking this journey with me. And feel free to reach out and give me any comments. I would love to hear from you. Okay. So, my friends, you have a blessed day and keep ascending. Ashe.